Hello students, welcome to English class. Today we are going to read 6th chapter of Honeycomb, NCERT English book of 7th standard. This chapter is Expert Detectives. In this story, there are two children, Nishad, a boy of 7, also called 7 because his name means the 7th note on the musical scale, and Maya, a girl of 10, are brother and sister. They are very curious to know about Mr. Nath. Mr. Nath, who had been living in Shankar house for over an year, and he was the children's mother's patient. Their mother is a doctor, and Mr. Nath was very lonely and thin man and looked disturbed. Because of this, both children start interrogation about him. They collect information about Mr. Nath. In their investigation, Maya takes Mr. Nath as a crook, and Nishad does not agree with her. This story is all about it, that who, Nishad or Maya, will prove himself or herself correct. So let's come to know the truth or about Mr. Nath. Nishad and his 10-year-old sister Maya has always been inquisitive about their neighbor Mr. Nath. One day, their marvels went inside Mr. Nath's house, and Nishad got a chance to catch a glimpse of Mr. Nath. He had a chance to take a glance of his appearance or look, Mr. Nath's look. In first look to Nishad, he appeared to be a crook, running away from the cops. He had a bad scar on his face and did not have any friends also. But Mr. Nath is a patient to their mother, who is a doctor by profession. You can see in the picture, both children, Nishad and Maya, are discussing about Mr. Nath. Next side, you can see the picture of Mr. Nath. So, their mother is a doctor by profession, and he has told them that he is a polite man. Both children were busy in discussing their mysterious neighbor. They both agreed about his financial wealth, how he manages his food and so on. Nishad thinks that he is poor and does not have much money, while Maya believes that he is a criminal and has got a lot of money and has kept it hidden somewhere in his room. Then it was the scar on the face of Mr. Nath that bothered the children. They thought that he might have got during a shootout with the police. Nishad, although did not trust that, but also wanted to know the reason of his loneliness, having no friends. So, both the children decided to detect the reason. Maya noted down some points which made Mr. Nath look suspicious and criminal. On their mother's birthday, Nishad went along her to the clinic. He saw Mr. Nath there. He was worried seeing Mr. Nath's gaunt appearance. In the evening, Nishad went to his place, Mr. Nath's house, and gave a bar of chocolate to Mr. Nath, thinking that he is a poor man and did not have money to buy food or get food. So after that, for more inquiry, Nishad became a friend of Ramesh, the boy who used to bring food for Mr. Nath from a nearby restaurant. Ramesh informed him that Mr. Nath had 2 meals a day, in which he had 2 chapatis, some dal and vegetable, and tea. He had tea in the morning and evening. Ramesh told that his meal was the same every day, which was 2 chapatis and some dal and vegetable. More he informed, and always used to pay in cash. Ramesh informed that he always used to pay in cash and tips as well. He brings 2 lunches in Sunday, and it is the same visitor he finds there. The visitor was a tall, stout, and a spectacled man who talks a lot, just opposite of Mr. Nath. Mr. Nath was a very quiet person. The children were thrilled, and they were discussing the possibilities of Mr. Nath being a crook. Then their school opened after the summer holidays the next day, but they could not attend it because of heavy rains. Nishad was busy reading his books when Maya informed what she had done. She had made a note of everything they knew about Mr. Nath, calling them facts, and gave a number to each one of them. Like, his name was Mr. Nath. What was his real name? The tenants at Shankar House say he was mad, strange, and unfriendly. He never talked to anyone and was mannerless. He was living in room number 10 of Shankar House for more than a year, and he did not work and sat in his room all day. The kids were scared of him. He had no visitor except for one who used to visit him every Sunday. He might be his partner in crime. He did care what he ate and used to pay his bill immediately. On the basis of these facts, these 9 facts, Maya considered Mr. Nath to be a criminal. But Nishad had also reason of his own for which he did not consider him to be a criminal. He felt bad for him for having no friends, while Maya thought that the visitor who comes to his place on Sunday may be his partner, who knows all his secrets and maybe the loot as well. Both the children had an argument, and Nishad was upset with Maya for calling Mr. Nath a crook. Nishad was interested only in finding out why Mr. Nath was so thin and loner, means lonely person. He wanted to be his friend, and Maya's theories did not have any impact on Nishad. So that's all about the story. I hope you understood. Thank you. Have a nice time.